All right, so if you're a project controls apprentice, you know the deal. You're drowning in data, right? But data is just, well, it's just noise until you can turn it into a story that actually helps people make smart decisions. Today, we're going to follow one apprentice's journey from being totally overwhelmed to delivering game-changing insights, all by mastering one crucial skill, K27.
So let's meet Jody. She's a level 6 project controls apprentice at IBIS stores. And if you're watching this, she's probably a lot like you, super smart, ambitious, and right at that point where all the classroom theory starts getting real.
And speaking of getting real, her world just got hit with a massive dose of it. A huge, high-stakes project bid has just landed squarely on her desk. This isn't a drill, it's a test of everything she's been learning.
Her manager, Riddle, lays it out plain and simple. She's not looking for a spreadsheet full of numbers. Nope. She needs to know the story behind those numbers. She needs to understand their performance so she can write a bid that wins. No pressure, right?
Okay, so feeling that pressure, Jody does the smartest thing any apprentice can do. She goes to her mentor, Adam. She knows that to tell a really good story, you have to get the fundamentals absolutely right.
Adam immediately zeroes in on what she needs. K27. Look, it sounds technical, but it really boils down to two things. First, you have to create a solid performance baseline. That's your yardstick. And second, you have to use the right analytical tools to spot the trends and variances against that yardstick.
And Adam's analogy here is just perfect. Think about it. A baseline is your project's GPS. It tells you exactly where you're supposed to be. Without it, you might be moving fast, but you could be moving fast in the completely wrong direction.
So how do you set up this GPS so it actually works? Adam gives her 4 essential non-negotiable steps. 1. Make sure it's perfectly aligned to your scope and schedule. 2. Get everyone to formally sign off on it. This is huge. 3. Lock it down with strict change control. And 4. Protect that thing with your life. This makes sure your GPS isn't constantly getting reprogrammed.
All right, theory's one thing, but now it's time for some hands-on practice. Adam gives Jody a real data set from an old project. It's time to stop talking about what a baseline is and start learning what to do with it.
He starts with this classic puzzle. You've probably seen something like it. You're halfway through the timeline, but you're way under budget. Is that good news? Well, maybe. Or maybe it just means you're super behind schedule. See, the raw numbers don't give you the answer.
To find the real answer, Adam introduces Jody to her new best friends, her analytical toolkit. These are the techniques that let you see through the noise. You're not just looking at one number in isolation. You're comparing it to the plan. You're tracking performance over time, and you're using powerful indices to get a true health check.
So Jody dives in. She starts with a simple variance analysis, plotting the actual progress against what was planned. And immediately, she sees it. This isn't a one-off bad month. Look at that chart. It's a consistent pattern. A negative trend is staring her right in the face.
And this, as Adam explains, is the million-dollar question. Is this just a little blip, a bad week you can recover from? Or is it a systemic issue, something fundamentally wrong that needs to be escalated? Being able to tell the difference, well, that's what separates the apprentices from the pros.
Okay, armed with these new skills and a major confidence boost, Jody is finally ready. It's time to tackle Riddle's real-world challenge, using past performance data to make the new IBIS bids smarter.
And this is it. This is her big aha moment. After digging through the data from a similar past project, she finds the key number, a consistent recurring trend. On average, they were performing at a negative 8% variance. They were always delivering less than they planned.
You see what happened. This isn't just data anymore. This is a story with a powerful lesson. Jody's insight is that the company is always too optimistic in the early days. So her recommendation is a genuine strategic move. Build a more realistic timeline into the bid from the start. She didn't just find the data, she found the story.
Now, Jody has totally nailed K27 in practice, but as every apprentice knows, doing the work is only half the battle. Now you have to prove you did it. So she sits down with her coach, Olivia, to get her evidence ready for the APTM portfolio.
Olivia asks the one question that keeps every apprentice up at night. How do you actually prove you've mastered this stuff? It's not enough to just say, I did trend analysis. You have to show the impact of your work. What are the assessors actually looking for? And this slide is absolute gold. Olivia shows her a side-by-side comparison. Just handing in a data table? Not good enough. You need the report with your commentary explaining what it all means. A single progress percentage? Weak. A dashboard that shows the trend over time? Now you're talking. It's not about listing tasks, it's about reflecting on your impact.
Olivia basically gives Jody the secret recipe for a perfect reflection. You have to tell the assessor this 4-part story. Connect the dots for them, from how you protected the baseline, to the trends you found, to the decision your analysis influenced, and finally, the real-world impact it had.
Her portfolio is submitted, and it's brilliant. But there's one final hurdle, the endpoint assessment. That big professional discussion with an outside assessor, the final boss.
Olivia preps her with a very typical EPA question. Notice how it's actually 2 questions in one? It's testing her on baseline setup and on how her analysis actually helps people. They want to see that you get the whole picture.
And this is Jody's answer. Just listen to it. It's confident, professional, and packed with key words like change control and trend analysis. But the magic part is the end, where she explains why it matters. Timely intervention before variances become unmanageable. She's not just describing her job, she's articulating its value. That is a distinction-level answer.
So Jody's journey really shows you the whole path. She started with a messy, complex problem, and by mastering K27, she turned it into a clear, powerful story that led to a smarter business decision. And this isn't some fictional tale, this is a path that every single one of you can follow.
So, what's the big takeaway here? Your project data isn't just a bunch of boring facts and figures. There's a narrative hiding in there, a story waiting to be told. The only question is, what story is your data trying to tell you, and are you equipped to listen?